Alright, welcome back there, guys. What you're staring at here is a Raptor 660. I totally rebuilt the motor, trans, engine on is now as Raptor 686. You can see up in there how nice and pearly that thing looks. It's got 686. It's got your intake spacers, billet, brand new carburetors, brand new petcock. The exhaust is used but repurposed, cleaned up really well. Put heaps amount of hours into this thing, and man, what a difference this thing sounds like. And well, you know, I got my new aftermarket chain. The paint job is acceptable. It's just presentable. It's not anything perfect. So here, I'll start with this. This is my dual core aluminum billet radiator, semi-new. So the problems well known of these things when building these. This is actually off of a Wolverine. The other one was broken, so I replaced it. So, for an example, you go to start this thing, and if this is not applied, and this wire here is your brake and clutch perch wires. Some bikes, you know, it won't start unless you squeeze this in and set your park and brake. If it's not neutral, if the park and brake's not set, your rev limiter kicks in, won't allow you to over rev the engine to protect it. Sometimes that becomes a failure. So what you do is you just, it's real easy. You trace these wires all the way down underneath and just unplug them. Then the bike will start up no matter what you do, as long as you got your thumb switch on, got your key switch on, it starts up. If the problem still remains that you can't rev the engine, a lot of times these wires down in here, which I did one bypass, I bypassed the reverse, but the neutral is still there, still intact, it's still good. The reverse has a protection rev limiter, so it protects you from slamming your face down into there. These bikes are really quite fast, and if you weren't paying attention and you're backing up and you hit the throttle too hard, you can slam your face down in there to a person that's not an advanced rider. It's there for protection purposes. There's a way to bypass that. You'll trace the green wire with a white tracer, and you just ground it anywhere to the body. Well, I would say frame, chassis, motor, you can use that. But there's another ground wire that's under the seat. It's a black wire, has a bullet connector, separate it, connect into there. That's your ground wire. The neutral light, if that's having issues, just run that wire straight up with the other one and connect it to the ground. That will kill the rev limiter, and you'll be able to rev the bike up. The other issues with the starter solenoid, you're pushing on your starter button and bang, 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 it won't do nothing. Trace this harness to this housing right here. Trace it down. Look for where it comes from the harness side, not from here, not from the handlebar side, but from here. And look for a blue, light blue wire with a black tracer. That is your ground wire to the starter solenoid. You'll look back here in the battery compartment, you'll see it there too. If you ground that to the frame or chassis, engine, battery, ground side, it should start. If it does not, then you have a grounding issue you need to resolve. There is another one. I'm trying to think of it. When having a Raptor 686 engine and you try to use your stock carburetors, it is not going to work right. You need fatter jetting. Don't recall the numbers, but you need fatter jetting. So I just made it simple, bought the kit, threw it in, it says 686 kit jetting. And I ordered it eBay, or you can get possibly from Amazon, and put that in. But you got to make sure you put them in the right carburetor. You got one that takes care of your idle and low, and then it starts to go into mid-range. Anywhere after mid-range, the second carburetor kicks in. When that kicks in, you go full throttle. If you don't have that smooth transitioning, you're going to get bogging issues. You're going to get problems. It's going to resemble that it's your brake switch, your parking switch, your clutch switch. It's going to resemble there's some form of shortage. Maybe the timing chain is stretched. Well, if the timing chain is stretched, this here is automatic tensioner. That will continue pressing in to keep tension on that chain. So, next issue. And we're going to discuss about the auto decompression pin, which is located under your valve cover on this side of the bike, driver's side or your left side. And inside there is your camshaft. And when you go into probably about right there, you'll see your shaft that runs across. There's a tiny little pin. When you rotate that crankshaft to top dead center, you'll see a tiny little button that rises up out of the camshaft. On the very outside edge, you'll see the camshaft here has two weights on it. They're the fly-out weights. Anything interrupts that process is going to make you think you got a dead battery when you don't. Your engine's going to rotate slow. It's going to appear that your battery is dead. A lot of people try to overcome it by putting a battery charger to it. That's not the proper fix. Go through that, because what will happen is you're putting too much of a load on your electrical harness, too much of a load on the battery, too much of a load on your starter solenoid, and something is bound to not act right. It's going to burn up. It's going to blow fuses. And if not resolved, you could probably overheat your wire harness and burn it up. Then you create a bigger problem. So if you're trying to start this bike, I'll show you how it sounds with a 686 with a stock OEM starter. And this will show proof. Okay, there it is. Up in there, just painted, nothing special. See there? Just bone stock. This is the way it's supposed to sound when it rotates. See that? Starts right up. Okay? It's supposed to start that fast. I got the fuel off so it didn't stay running. But I wanted you to hear the starter, how fast it spins. With a 686 piston. See there? Spins around, no problem. Now, you want to hear it start. I'll wait for that car to go by. But here we go. Starts up every time. Starts up every time. It's backfiring because the petcock's off. Okay? So I'm starting to run out of fuel. The thing with these bikes, when they get ready to run out of fuel, they start acting up. If you get a kink in your line, or if your fuel filter gets clogged up, it's going to cause erratic backfiring, okay? And it's going to sound like you got your timings off, your valves. It's going to set you into a boot loop, going through a bunch of problems. So I build these things. I do it for a living. I'm very resourceful. I have a lot of knowledge into these things. And recovered many of bikes. Get them back up and running, get them back going again like brand new. So, trying to come up with some more ideas here. Oh, if you're trying to start your bike and it's backfiring out of the carburetors, that's an indication your intake valves are stuck open, or they're sticky, or they're burnt, or they're bent. Don't continue trying to start your bike. And the other option is that it's out of timing. You could be one tooth off. If those valves are not opening and shutting properly, that would be your one key indication. Because it'll backfire right out of the carburetor boots, rip your boots, and throw your carburetors about halfway down the road here. That's a lot of compression coming out of here. I mean, if you want to see, I'll show you something here. Let me warm this thing up first. Well, hold on. Not sure if you can hear me too well, but you see that big fan right there? To show you how much thrust a 686 has. You see how it's just puttering along? Well, it's just puttering along. Still getting fuel built up here, and I got my idle down. Let me turn my idle up a little bit. There we go. So watch when I go ahead and throttle into this. That's only quarter throttle. That's not half throttle, not full throttle. That's full throttle. That's full throttle. So you can see the amount of thrust that comes out of that thing. You get them valves opening up at the wrong time, and you best better believe you're going to witness that with your carburetors. And it's going to shoot them right off of there. And if you've ever built these bikes, you know how tough those carburetor boots are. It's hard sometimes to try to get them to go on there. And with the amount of thrust that comes out of that exhaust, it comes out your intake. You better hope your face ain't nowhere nearby. A piece of metal fly off and get you. Or get your arm hit. You'll know it next time. Here's the other one. If you notice your engine's running hot. Now, you see what I've done as far as running time, right? I can stick my hand right there on that radiator and it does not bother me. No matter where I touch it. Okay? That happens right away. It gets too hot. You got a lean condition. See there, right at the base of this cylinder, with that running, I shouldn't be able to do this if it's overheating. Okay, so I'm able to cover that whole entire part. Now, I'm not going to be stupid and touch them manifolds. They will get hot. So, in mind, if you get rapid heating after freshly rebuilding a motor, that gets hit too hot, too fast, you have a problem. If you have too lean of a condition, such as improper jetting, it's going to make that engine run super hot. Every part of this radiator, you're not going to be able to touch. That's your first indication in the morning. Shut it off. Something ain't right. You should be able to walk back here and comfortably be able to hold on to that pipe and feel just slight warmness right there. Nothing major. But anything up as you get closer to the bike is going to get hot. You have fire that can come down through there, it makes it hot. It's perfectly normal for it to glow just slightly red for the first few inches, especially stainless steel exhaust. That's perfectly normal. It's thinner metal than the OEM exhaust, so that's why they glow. Just hope and pray you don't get your leg near it, because it will burn you. And you're going to ask me how I know? Look right there, you see that? That's from an exhaust burn. That burnt the crap out of me. Hurt like hell. So, ain't the first time. Yeah. You look right there. Wow. Yeah, that sucker hurt like hell. So, it's best to wear pants. Wear the suitable gear. Don't be stupid like me. But I just figured to make this video to try to help people, so they can understand a little bit better. So, not enough fuel flow will make an engine overheat. Even if you got all your coolant, everything's good. Oil, plenty of oil, plenty of coolant. Even if your coolant system's intact, you have a lean condition, better fix it. You make that run too hot, remember, that's cast aluminum. It has a melting temperature of 1500 degrees. And you got movable parts in there, you will blow that thing right out the side. And all that money you just put into there would be for nothing. So, when I'd go to 686, I'd go dual core. You can see how much thicker that radiator is compared to a normal one. I mean, this is roughly about 2.5 inches thick, compared to the other one is really skinny. I mean, we're talking the difference between probably maybe an inch thick, compared to, it's actually like 2 of them stamped together. That would be proper cooling. The other things is when you're running an aftermarket exhaust, like I am. That's why it's so loud. Okay, when you're running aftermarket, you know, performance exhaust, like I am, then it's going to make the bike run leaner, because you're pulling more air through the carburetor, pulling more air and combustion through the cylinder head. So you're going to get more air than fuel mixture. That's why you got to enrich the fuel. You got to do the jetting properly, so you have the proper jetting. Without doing that, you might as well just hang it up, because you're not going to last long. You'll get out there, maybe get a couple passes, and it'll blow it. So the other thing is, if you tear an engine down completely, you're going to have absolutely no oil. You got oil in the engine, and you got oil in your oil tank down there. You run it completely out. Don't just put a quart in there and think that it's going to be full. It'll give you a false reading. That oil tank's going to tell you you're full, but you're not. Start it up for a few seconds, then shut it off, then go back, check your oil. But what I do is I fill that thing all the way up when I first put my oil in it. I fill it completely up, and then start it. Let it run 15 seconds, shut it off, go back up there, check it, and then fill it until it's full. And I even put a little extra up in there just to make sure there's no air pockets in the lines, and it resolves it. Then it becomes full every time. Never had an issue. So yeah, bone stock starter, just painted, nothing special. Will easily simplify and crank this 686 over, no problem at all. Has no issues. Anyone tells you elsewise, you've seen it here for yourself. OEM 660 starter is not a problem starting that engine. Has no problem at all. Trying to think if there's anything else. Anyone thinks of anything else, challenge my knowledge. Put it in the comments, and I'll see what I come up with. So, if you have any issues out of that CDI box, there is another way besides the OEM CDI box. I know the proper wiring. I know all the wires where it goes. I research this stuff daily. Makes my job easier. So, you go on and let me know if you want to get tired of buying CDI boxes for these things. There is a much cheaper way out. Very easy to do. I've done it to many of bikes. I've done it to golf carts. I've done it to my four-wheelers, dirt bikes. And it makes it real easy to start. Very cheap. So, I have some videos of my Wolverine that's on my YouTube channel you can watch. I've done the modification to that one. So you can hear how she just goes. It doesn't have a problem. Even though it had a ripped carburetor boot, yeah, the diaphragm, it still was able to keep up with a Polaris 500 4x4. No problem. And that's all the time four-wheel drive. So, got any questions? You need some know-hows? Question me, test my knowledge. I'm all about trying to help out, give a lending hand, and try to help people lighten up the frustration. I'm never a Mr. Know-It-All, but dang on it doesn't hurt for me to keep on trying. And if you look here, I think I've done a pretty fine job on this guy. I got my Nerf bars, but got to clean them up. So, place is a little mess for the moment. There will be some stuff being pulled out of here, make some more room. And I'll be selling this guy. This is up for sale, by the way. Anyone that's local is interested in the Raptor 686, freshly rebuilt. The engine that was originally on it was totally trashed. So everything you're looking at there cost me, I know, at least $24.75 at least. Everything inside. Top, bottom, transmission, 05 transmission. It's a limited edition. Raptor, originally 660, now 686. I've done some modifications. Got it all set and dialed in. This thing has no issues. I upgraded the, clutch and handbrake for here. I got a, it's the rear brake plus clutch. So when you push this button down, you pull it back. Now you just apply the clutch in the rear brake. You let it go, it releases. So when you push that, squeeze that in, put that guy right there, now they're both locked. Take this guy, push forward, releases everything. Goes through all the gears real nice and smooth. And I take great pride in what I do here. This is something that I do for a living. It's how I make my money. Because too many employers are too babyish to hire a man with broken screws in his neck. They're too scared to hire a man like me. But I'm the type that, will take care of business. I get the job done. I don't play. Playtime is after I fix them up. I test them. I make sure they're fully functional. I make sure it disengages the transmission with the clutch. Make sure everything works as intended. As you can hear, she's doing just fine. Gives me no issues. And if a bike I can't stop or disengage the transmission from the motor, will not go out of here. I don't play that crap. Soon, I'll be getting back to my sweetheart right here. Be getting her fixed back up. Get her going again. And I got a nice little golf cart project over here. It's going to be taking a snowmobile engine. It's almost there. I just got bigger fish on my plate to deal with between this and that car. Other things are going to start happening. Things are going to start pulling through. And I got a whole bunch of projects, but it's just all in the matter of which one takes the lead and which one has the bigger fish. So this will help open more opportunities for me to continue. And I always believe in working for what I want. So this is what I do. You know, but I take great pride in what I do. Because I was told that I was never going to be able to do this stuff in my condition. Oh, did it hurt? Yeah, you got to believe it hurts. No, I work. And I help people. I try to do what I can to help people. That feels great. And to say, look what I did. Look what I accomplished. When people told me I couldn't do it, I did it. There's many things that I do and said that I couldn't do it. I accept the challenge and I go for it. Get on this thing, I'm going to cruise it. Got to test it. I'm going to have fun with it. If I can't have fun with it, I can't expect anyone else to. So, that's with every bike that goes out of here. I'll fix it. I'll ride it. Enjoy it. Then I know it's good. And I can say a hell yeah behind my sail. And so can anyone else that gets on it. There's going to be a happy person. There was one that was over there. Sold that one. Got a video on it. But the video didn't turn out well. It was too much of me. Sinus issues. So I didn't think it would be enjoyable hearing that all throughout the whole video. So I had to just forget it. I got pictures I can show. But this one, been building this one in the background. And now I'm showing how far I got with it. So I hope you guys enjoy it. If you got any further questions, jump down in the comment section. If you like any of my content, wouldn't be hard to hit the subscribe button to see future events, what I'm up to next, what's the next thing that's going to be on my list to build. And if you like it, hit the like button. You know, it helps me get recognition. It helps me to help other people. And also at the fact that when I get plenty of likes, get plenty of attention, YouTube will share some form of payday for the work that I've done. Because my job ain't over with when I'm done here. I got to go down and go edit this video so you guys get entertained. And sharing it really gets recognition. Even if you want to make jokes about me, share the dang on thing and talk trash. I don't care. I'm a funny man. I take jokes. Looking like me, you got to have a sense of humor. So I've heard the best of the best. So you go on with your bad self with all that, you know, funny stuff.